Let's take a look at the recent major events in the universe and the Earth. First, an astronomer discovered a constellation that looked like a frozen planet in 146 light-years ago. Then, Musk claimed that SpaceX shifted the center of gravity from Mars to the Moon. Then, the life components were discovered on the small planet Bennu. The basic composition of life was rewritten as the origin of life. This is really a re-reveal of human perception and cognition. Let's take a look at it together. First, the constellation of the Earth. An astronomer just discovered a frozen constellation of the Earth in 146 light-years ago. The radius of the planet is about 1.06 times that of the Earth, and the cycle is about 355 days, which is very similar to the Earth. But the only regret is that it may be on the edge of the habitable zone of the planetary system, and the light intensity received is less than 1/3 of the Earth. So it's very likely to be a cold planet like Antarctica on Earth. But that doesn't mean it's completely out of the habitable zone. It should be noted that there are also humans living on the Earth in such an extreme climate zone. If the composition of its atmosphere is similar to that of the Earth, there is a good chance that life will be born on it. The current research results have been published in the Astronomical Physics magazine. Second, Mars to the Moon. It should be noted that Musk has always been passionate about Mars. He has repeatedly stated that his main purpose of founding SpaceX is to help humans settle on Mars and will launch a new ship to Mars in 2030. But recently, Musk brought us an unexpected piece of news. He announced that SpaceX will now focus on the Moon. He believes that it will be possible to build a lunar city in 10 years, and it will take more than 20 years to settle on Mars. At the same time, Musk also emphasized that this move is aimed at advancing the ability to extend consciousness and life to the stars. It is also an opportunity to quickly verify the technology of landing on the planet and the experience of survival on the ground. This is also in line with his recently disclosed giant satellite plan, which shows the acceleration of Musk's multidimensional space strategy. Third, Bennu Nebula. NASA has discovered the basic components of life, such as amino acids, but they have always been confused about how to form them in space. However, a new study led by a scientist at the University of Pennsylvania, Georgia, recently showed that these amino acids do not only depend on the water of the warm night, but may originate from the early ice-cold and radioactive environment of the solar system. The results of this study subverted the way humans usually think the amino acids in small stars are formed, and show that the formation path of life-forming units in space is more diverse than imagined. It is likely that the life on Earth is an organic molecule that small stars may form through various mechanisms, and the impact event will send it to the young Earth. The results of this study have been published in the U.S. National Academy of Sciences. Fourth, giant star threat. Can you imagine the current situation of the Earth being surrounded by giant stars? So far, the number of satellites on the Earth's orbit has reached 140,000 to 150,000 grams. You may not think of more while you enjoy the convenience. But as the number of satellites on the orbit continues to increase, human astronomy is beginning to face serious interference. A new study published in the Nature magazine found that if the number of satellites in the future increases to 500,000 to 1 million, 96% of the space telescope images on Earth may be affected by satellite trajectory and reduce the accuracy of space exploration. This is a serious consequence. It will not only affect the economic loss of scientific exploration, but also affect accurate monitoring of potential threats to small stars. Fifth, solar eclipse. Astronomers have recently discovered a solar eclipse. This is one of the most striking constellations. Some of the constellations are as bright as the moon. These constellations are famous for their daring to get close to the sun. This dangerous journey has created their amazing appearance. It is estimated that in April, it will reach the closest close to the sun. At that time, it will fly about 200,000 kilometers away from the sun. Then, they will be exposed to strong solar radiation and strong tidal force. They will be split into countless pieces and eventually disintegrate. Of course, it also provides a precious opportunity for astronomers to study the composition of satellites and the evolution of solar systems.